Friends, I want to invite you to listen in to a conversation that I'm having with a man who was born in Gaza and was raised in Gaza. He is here to share with us his personal experience, his childhood, what he saw in school, his parents. He later on made it into Israel, converted to Judaism. He changed his name from Ayman to Dor. Fascinating story, truthful story, eye-opening story. I want you to listen in. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot. I know that I will. And so I welcome you to join me in this conversation. Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you for coming to sit with me and talk to me about your life.
Thank you for inviting me.
So I would very much like to hear your story. You came to America to share your childhood. So let's start with that. Where were you born? What was your name? Who were your parents?
My name was Ayman Abu Sabuh. I was born in the Gaza Strip in Khan Yunis to a Palestinian Muslim family. We were 5 siblings, 3 sons and 2 daughters. I was the middle child. My father was a worker in Israel in Rishon LeZion. At the time, there was an open passage. Every day, people would go through it, people coming from Gaza and from Khan Yunis. When I was 3 years old, my grandfather said to me, "Sit down." So I sat down next to him. He told me a story about Jaffa. He said that part of it was his land, and the Jews took it from him. Basically, all of Israel is our land. Every place where we used to live, the Jews took it. When you grow up, you'll murder them and take the land back, because this is your inheritance.
Your grandfather told you to murder Jews.
Yes, my paternal grandfather. When I returned home, I heard my father say, "Thank God," when he heard about the murder of Jews. Thank God, may his name be glorified, may they all die. I have to remind you, my father worked for 27 years in Israel. He made money, he bought land, he built a house, a private home, a luxurious villa, like wealthy people, with the Jews' money. With all that, he still said murder the Jews. In those days, we didn't have kindergarten. The kids would play outside. They play hide and seek and soccer. And there were soldiers in Gaza, Khan Yunis, and Rafah. Since I was born, I grew up among soldiers.
The Israeli soldiers.
The Israeli soldiers who were there from before I was born. Also the Jews who would come to the market. After a soccer game, a soldier came over and joined us. He put something in my hand, like this, and closed it. I was curious, and he said, "Open your hand." I opened it, and I saw it was candy. I unwrapped it and ate it. Wow, it was sweet, like honey. Kids love candy.
The Israeli soldiers gave you candies.
Correct. I turned 6 years old, and my mother took me to the market in Khan Yunis to help her out. She bought me some candies. As I was walking, I saw someone's head rolling like a ball.
A severed head.
Yes,
On the floor.
a severed head rolling like a ball. I looked up at the high electric poles, and there were people hung there to die. They put people in the intersection, and thousands of people were all around screaming, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar." They chopped off their legs, hands, and then their heads. They bound people by their feet and dragged them through every street until they died. The people who they tied up are the people that they suspected of collaborating with Israel.
So those are Muslim Arabs who were killed.
The Muslim Arab Palestinians who are thought to be collaborating with Israel.
Who killed them?
Who could it be? Have you heard of Yahya Sinwar? It was him and his people. In math class we learned there are 5 Jews. We killed 3. How many left? 2. We will kill them as well.
In school they taught you murder.
It was UNRWA school. You know it?
It belongs to the UN.
UN.
It's a United Nations school.
Correct.
The UN school taught you to kill Jews.
Correct. My father enrolled us in a new school. There is one reason why he enrolled us in a new school. In this school, also of UNRWA, each child that studied at that school receive 50 kilos of flour. So 3 kids, it's 150 kilos. So that's the calculation he made. This new school was worse. This school was on a two-way street. You know, two-way traffic. On one side, there's an army base, and there are soldiers who come to guard the base. The students go there and throw stones at the Israeli soldiers. Then they go back to the classrooms and open their books.
And who told you to throw stones?
The teachers.
The teachers?
All of them, yes. The teachers.
Like the first thing in the day?
Yes, the first thing. There's no real education. The first lesson of the day is how to throw stones at the Israeli soldiers.
What's Jesus?
Jesus is a traitor.
It sounds like Jesus.
They call me an infidel. An infidel is a Muslim who wants to be a Jew.
So traitor.
Exactly. Like connected to the infidels, there is another word.
How do you say that?
Kafar, like infidel. This word is like the death penalty. The army says you have 24 hours to leave this building to South Gaza. They won't leave. Why? Because they say Hamas is holding us with a gun to our heads. Another 24 hours. At the end, they came out. The Israeli army came and attacked the building. So where are all these so-called injured kids that you see there? They are taking living kids and putting makeup and fake blood on them. The kids touch everyone. Touch everyone's heart.
Sure.
They touch the world's heart, but it's a lie. If the army asked to evacuate, and they did evacuate, then where did all these children come from? Now they're only showing little kids. So this kid is living alone in this building without dad, mom, or his grandparents? Where's his mom? Why didn't she die? Why didn't his dad die? Why do we see only kids?
What are you saying? Hamas is fooling everyone?
Of course. I'll give you an example. A nurse at Shifa Hospital, everyone knows this. She said Hamas took all the fuel and the medicine. A child broke his arm and we can't do anything. And what did they say? If someone is going against Hamas, what do they do to him? They murder him. But they didn't kill her. That's the trick of Hamas. Have a ceasefire to get some food, water, electricity, and fuel.
You're saying that you understand this and recognize this because you live there.
Right.
And that's basically what they taught you to do.
Right. They don't have innocent people there.
Tell me, don't you think you sound like an extremist?
That's the truth. The truth hurts, and that's okay.
Are you scared that...
You know what? Let's say it's extreme. Okay? Let's go back. Go back in time. Before the Intifada, Arabs used to come to Israel. And the Israelis went to Han Yunis, right?
Yes.
How did it start? A Palestinian Arab killed an Israeli woman. Next step, Intifada. What did they do? They threw stones at soldiers. That was the first generation. The second generation, what did they do? They came with knives and started stabbing. The third generation used explosives and started bombing. The fourth generation sent missiles. The fifth generation didn't just enter Israel. They invaded it.
Were you taught to hate America also?
Of course. Death to Israel, death to America. You know, during the Gulf War, they used to sing, Ya Saddam, Ya Habib, all the fire in Tel Aviv. It means, Dear Saddam, please bomb Tel Aviv. Dear Saddam, bomb America.
That's what they used to sing when you were a little boy.
Of course, yes. It's hard to comprehend. It's hard to believe. Like you said to me, isn't it too much? Isn't it racism? Because they raised you on love, on peace. They raised me on hatred and murder.